Sir, very happy evening to all. Sir, I believe that your preparations are going very well. We are on 29th of April. Those who are going to write only group 2, still you are having 10 days of time, which can we say it as last 10 days. The intention of coming in live is to just say a hi, to inquire that how you people are. And my dear lovable students, whenever I am coming, I just want to come with a small gift. If you are a CA final student, those who are going to write this time, especially in direct tax, taxation of non-resident plays a major role. I am expecting a 30-mark question from non-resident. Earlier also it was the area, 30 marks area. But minimum 30 marks. As I already told in the last lectures and all, DTA they have reduced the marks to 6 marks. Both the mock we are having 6 marks. And I have done both the question. Don't skip that area. Try to complete all the ICA study material and the mock 1, mock 2 and RTP of double taxation avoidance agreement. 6 marks can be assured in exam. Number 2, the second part is transfer pricing. It's another 6 mark area which is there in the mock 1, mock 2 and RTP, and try to do all the ICA study material question which I have already covered when I do the class itself. Then I already told you that 3 chapters are very important from non-resident part. Don't take a chance at any cost. What is BEPS, model tax convention, tax treaties, interpretation of tax treaties. From this area, they are asking a 6 mark. So, what weightage you are giving to DTA, the same weightage you have to give to these 3 chapters. The another 6 mark area in both the mock they are asking is non-resident taxation, which is chapter number 1. So, in that lot of topics they have given, one of the most important topic in that is capital gain for non-resident. Capital gain for non-resident. Actually, which is a very easy topic, which will not take more than 3 minutes of our time to solve the question. But, என்னடா இது telegraphic transfer buying rate, telegraphic transfer selling rate, என்னடா இவங்க சொல்ல வராங்க அப்படின்னு உனக்கு ஒரு டவுட் இருக்குனா, if you are feeling discomfort with regard to the question number 2, I am here to help you, my dear lovable students. Just enjoy the non-resident capital gain. 2B is what the discussion is all about. This is a 6 mark question in mock number 2. Why we have to miss the 6 mark if we can solve within 5 to 10 minutes? Mr. Albert, a non-resident, they themselves given as non-resident. So, residential status நம்ம apply பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை, because they declared him as non-resident and American citizen, not an Indian citizen. He is an American guy. He is employed in an American company. அப்ப non-resident, American citizen, அமெரிக்கால இருக்காரு, இந்தியால நயா பைசா டாக்ஸ் கட்ட வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. The American company has a permanent establishment in India, but that American company is having a factory in India, or that American company is having, sir, a workplace in India, that American company is having a workshop in India, something is there in India that tantamount to permanent establishment in India. That American company is having a branch in India, office in India, or anything X, Y or Z in India, that tantamount to permanent establishment in India. That means that company is having a permanent establishment in India. Albert visited India during the financial year 23-24. On an official work, ஒரு வேலைக்காக ஆல்பர்ட் அமெரிக்கால இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்திருக்காரு and stayed for 80 days, which is less than 90 days, my dear lovable students. 90 days விட கம்மி தான் இந்தியால ஸ்டே பண்ணியிருக்காரு. His salary for that period was rupees 25 lakhs. அப்பா 80 days வேலை செஞ்சதுக்கு 25 lakh rupees சம்பளம் சம்பாதிச்சிருக்காரு, which is to be borne by the Indian permanent establishment. அது யார் பே பண்ணியிருக்காங்க? இந்தியாவில் இருக்கிற permanent establishment பே பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. So what indirectly they are checking, இல்ல directly they are checking is, are you aware of 10 subsection 6, sir, clause 6? Entire exemption which are applicable to non-resident we have discussed in the class. In this relevant is section 10 subsection 6 clause 6, that is remuneration received as a employee of foreign enterprise for services rendered by him during his stay in India. If foreign enterprise is not having any trade or business in India, இல்ல இந்த foreign enterprise க்கு இந்தியால permanent establishment இருக்கு. His stay in India does not exceed the aggregate period of 90 days in such previous year. That condition has been satisfied. He was in India only for 80 days, which is less than 90 days. Such remuneration is not liable to be deducted from income of employer chargeable under this act. Since a salary has been paid by the Indian permanent establishment, that will be debited to their P&L account. That means these two conditions has not been satisfied. Then 10 subsection 6 clause 6 exemption cannot be claimed. That 25 lakh will be taxable in the hands of the non-resident. It will be treated as income has been accrued or arisen from India as per section 9 subsection 1 clause 2. So individual salaried employee not being a citizen of India of a foreign enterprise, for this guy also only it is applicable. So when you are listening to this lecture, after this lecture have a revision of section 10 which are applicable to non-resident. Sir, from here also they are testing. So this 25 lakh will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Albert is what understanding number 1. Fine. So I am going to taxability of the Albert. Sir, computation of total income of Mr. Albert for the assessment year 24-25, salary income 25 lakh, salary deemed to accrue or arisen in India since it is paid for services rendered in India as per section 9 subsection 1 clause 2. In one of the question in the last discussion we talked about 9 subsection 1 clause 1, that was very important discussion. This is the second time they are testing section 9. Hence it is taxable in the hands of Mr. Albert. Exemption under section 10 subsection 6 clause 6 would not be available to him. Though he stayed in India for a period not exceeding 90 days during the previous year, since he is receiving salary from an American company which is engaged in business and trade in India through a PE in India, and such salary is borne by the Indian PE. Adinale 10 subsection 6 clause 6 enjoy பண்ண முடியாது. That 25 lakh will be taxable in India. Clarity? Sir, since the income is going to be taxable under the head salary, we can claim standard deduction under 16 subsection 1A to the extent of 50,000. So 24 lakh 50,000 rupees is the taxable income. Fine, fantastic to the core. First part of the question done, that salary is taxable. Fantastic, sir. Now second part of the question. Albert held 1,200 shares of Shine Private Limited SPL, an Indian company. That means the capital asset is situated in India. As per section 9 subsection 1 class 1, if any capital asset is situated in India, income is deemed to accrue or arisen in India. Again they have tested section 9. Since 31/12/2018, which he acquired for rupees 35 per share. So 1,200 shares at the rate of 35 comes to 42,000. For acquiring the shares, he remitted $50,000 to India on 15/12/2018. 31/12 தான் purchase பண்ணிருக்காங்க. ஆனா 15/12 க்கு foreign country ல காசு அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. $50,000 அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. He sold these shares on 28/2023 for 63 per share. அத 63 rupees க்கு இந்தியால வித்துட்டாங்க. Fine. Since a capital asset is situated in India, my dear lovable students, income is accrued or arisen in India as per section 9 subsection 1 class 1. Even in class, even in last lecture, I have highlighted this for your benefit. I am again highlighting this one. 9 subsection 1 class 1. Any income accruing or arising to an assessee in any place outside India, whether directly or indirectly, through or from any business connection in India, through or from any property in India, through or from any asset or source of income in India, or through the transfer of capital asset situated in India. So, the shares of an Indian company means capital asset is situated in India, income is deemed to accrue or arisen in India. So, for that, he is liable to pay capital gain. Before we taxing the capital gain, understand rule number 115A. we know that section 48 is the computational section of capital gain. Section 48 is having proviso 1, proviso 2, proviso 3, proviso 4, proviso 5, proviso 6 kadayadu, proviso number 7. Everything has been discussed. Proviso number 1 is applicable to non-resident. Are you a non-resident? Have you invested in shares and debenture of Indian company? Are you calculating the capital gain? Calculate the capital gain in foreign currency. This is what proviso number 1. Once you enjoy proviso number 1, proviso number 2 will not be applicable benefit of indexation, because foreign currency calculation itself is a benefit of indexation. Because there itself you are adjusting the exchange rate. Then again, if you adjust the benefit of indexation, nothing will be there to the government. And proviso number 3 is applicable to super asset. In case of super asset, proviso number 1 and proviso number 2 will not be applicable. This is what the flow. That means the assessee is a non-resident. He has invested in the shares of an Indian company. That too a private company, my dear lovable students. That's what the highlight. Shine Private Limited. That means this is not a super asset. That means proviso number 3 will not be applicable. Proviso number 3 will not be applicable means you can enjoy proviso number 1. Once you are enjoying proviso number 1, proviso number 2 cannot be enjoyed. What is proviso number 1? Foreign currency calculation. ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, capital gain foreign currency ல calculate பண்ணலாம். Capital gain foreign currency ல calculate பண்றது தான் rule number 115A. What is the format of capital gain? Full value of consideration. Less expenses for transfer, you will get a net consideration. Less cost of acquisition or index cost of acquisition. But since you are calculating in foreign currency, you are enjoying proviso number 1. Proviso number 1 enjoy பண்ணா proviso number 2 enjoy பண்ண முடியாது. அதனால indexed cost of acquisition எடுக்க முடியாது. என்னதான் எடுக்க முடியும்? Cost of acquisition. So the answer will be long term capital gain. You tell me, sale இன்னைக்கு நடக்குமா இல்ல pastல எப்போ நடந்ததா? இன்னைக்கு நடந்தது, presentல. அதனால you have to take the average rate. You have to take the on the date of transfer. On the date of எப்ப நீ சேல் பண்ணிருக்கியோ சேல் பண்ண அன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் தான் நீ எடுக்கணும். சார் சேல் எப்ப பண்றியோ அப்பதான் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸும் பண்ணுவேன். 10 வருஷம் முன்னாடியே எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் பண்ண மாட்டேல, விக்கிறதுக்கான எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் பண்ண மாட்டேல. அதனால அதுவும் ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர். நெட் கன்சிடரேஷன் எதுவும் பண்ண வேணாம். இது ரெண்டும் மைனஸ் பண்ணாலே ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா கால்குலேட்டர்ல ஆன்சர் வந்துடும். லெஸ் காஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அக்விசிஷன், அதுவும் என்ன ரேட்? ஆவரேஜ் ரேட். ஆனா டேட் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் கிடையாது, டேட் ஆஃப் அக்விசிஷன் ஆர் டேட் ஆஃப் பர்ச்சேஸ். எப்ப வாங்கி இருக்கியோ அன்னையோட ஆவரேஜ் ரேட். தட் மீன்ஸ் நாங்க ஓப்பனிங் ரேட்டும் எடுக்க மாட்டோம், க்ளோசிங் ரேட்டும் எடுக்க மாட்டோம். நாங்க ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர், ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர், ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் பர்ச்சேஸ். தட்ஸ் இட். எனக்கு கேபிட்டல் கெயின் கிடைக்கும். இந்த கேபிட்டல் கெயின் ஃபாரின் கரன்சியில் இருக்கும். திஸ் ஹஸ் டு பி கன்வெர்ட்டட் இன்டு இந்தியன் கரன்சி. For that I will use the buying rate. I will use the அங்க average rate கிடையாது, அங்க நான் யூஸ் பண்றது buying rate on the date of transfer. On the date of, ஏனா என்னைக்கு transfer ஆயிருக்கோ அன்னைக்கு தான் capital gain accrualize ஆயிருக்கு. That means what rule number 115A is saying that you have to follow Adayar Ananda Bhavan. You have to follow. That means average rate and buying rate. That's it. So I am going to calculate the capital gain. Sir, because Albert was holding shares in Shine Private Limited, an Indian company. Correct தானே? அது பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட்ங்கிறதுனால சூப்பர் அசெட் கிடையாது. அதனால proviso 3 அப்ளை ஆகாது. அதனால proviso 1 அப்ளை ஆகும். proviso 1 அப்ளை ஆனா proviso 2 அப்ளை ஆகாது. சிம்பிள். எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ்க்கு வித்திருக்காங்க? 63 per share வித்திருக்காங்க. எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ்? 1200. So 1200 into 63 போட்டேனா you will get the selling price. 1200 shares 63 rupees வித்தா 75,600. என்ன ரேட் எடுக்கணும்? ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர். எப்ப வித்திருக்காங்கன்னு பாரு. சார் this has been sold on 28/2023. தெளிவா 28 கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. So 90 plus 92 divided by 2. 90 plus 92 divided by 2 போட்டேனா 91. அப்ப 75,600 divided by என்ன 91 comes to $830.77 is the selling price with the foreign currency. இங்க பாரு $830.77 அழகா மேட்ச் ஆகுது. less expense for transfer questionல எதுவுமே இல்ல, அப்படியே விட்டா அவ்வளவுதான். இருந்தா ஆவரேஜ் ரேட் ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபரோட ரேட் எடுத்து கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணிக்கோ. சார் இவ்வளவுதானா சார்? பின்ன என்ன நினைச்சேன்? now net consideration அதேதான். less cost of acquisition, indexed cost of acquisition வராது. less cost of acquisition. காஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அக்விசிஷனுக்கு நீ என்ன ரேட் தான் எடுக்கணும், ஆவரேஜ் ரேட். ஆனா ஆன் த டேட் ஆஃப் பர்ச்சேஸ் வா எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ் கொடுத்து வாங்கியிருக்க, 12,235 42,000 கொடுத்து வாங்கியிருக்க. என்னைக்கு வாங்கியிருக்க, 31/12/2018 வாங்கியிருக்க. வாட் இஸ் த ரேட் ஆன் 31/12/2018? 68 plus 70 divided by 2 comes to what? 69. அப்ப என்ன பை என்ன, 42,000 divided by 69 comes to 608.70. ஒரு டவுட் வர வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு சார். இங்க பாரு, on 31/12/2028 பணம் அங்கிருந்து அமிச்சது, ஃபாரின் கண்ட்ரி அமிச்சது 28, சாரி பணம் அங்கிருந்து அமிச்சது 15/2, பைசா அங்கிருந்து டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணது 15/2. அன்னையோட டேட் எடுக்க கூடாது. You have to take the average rate on the date of acquisition, purchase. எனக்கு காசு எப்போ வந்துங்கிறது மேட்டரே கிடையாது. A, B, அடையார் ஆனந்த பவன். அடையார் A, average rate on the date of transfer. A, average rate on the date of transfer. Again, average rate on the date of purchase. Then reconversion க்கு buying rate on the date of transfer. So 830.77 ல 608.70 போச்சுனா the long term capital gain is $222.07. இப்போ நீ கன்வர்ஷனுக்கு என்ன ரேட் எடுக்கணும், buying rate on the date of transfer. What is the buying rate on the date of buying rate on the date of transfer is 28. எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ்? அப்போ 222.07 into 90 comes to 19,986 is the long term capital gain taxable in the hands of the non-resident. Fine sir. இவ்வளவுதானா சார்? ரொம்ப ஈஸி சார். salary section 10 subsection 6 clause 6 ல satisfy ஆவல taxable. tax பண்ணும்போது 50,000 மைனஸ் பண்ண விடக்கூடாது, மறக்கக்கூடாது. ஓகேவா? எஸ், ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் டிடக்ஷன். ரெண்டாவது, is the shares Indian shares situated in India? Yes, income is accrued or risen in India. That means we have to calculate the capital gain. Non-resident க்கு மட்டும் கொடுக்கிற benefit தான் foreign currency calculation. foreign currency calculation எடுத்தா benefit of indexation எடுக்க முடியாது. நீ வேணா பாரு, எவ்வளவு ஷேர்ஸ் வித்திருக்காங்க தெளிவா சொல்லு. 1200 ஷேர்ஸ் எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ் வித்திருக்காங்க? 1200 into 63 comes to 75,600. அப்படினா 75,600 is the full value of consideration. சார் நீ proviso 1 போடலன்னு வெச்சுக்கோ, proviso 1 எடுக்கலனா proviso 2 எடுக்கலாம். that means indexation benefit எடுக்கலாம். அப்ப 42,000 divided by CII of வாங்கின வருஷம் 280. இது நான் வந்து பார்த்து எழுதி இருக்கேன், நான் செக் பண்ணி எழுதி இருக்கேன். 280 into வித்த வருஷத்தோட இது 348. அப்படினா உனக்கு வந்து 52,200 rupees indexed cost of acquisition வருது. அப்படினா உனக்கு long term capital gain 23,400 வருது. அதை விட உனக்கு பெனிஃபிட்டா தான் இருக்கு 19,986 தான் long term capital gain வருது. சார் அப்ப ஒன்னொன்னையும் போட்டு பார்க்கணுமா? வேண்டாம். proviso 1 is mandatory for a resident, non-resident. Right sir. Second part also done. I am coming to the third part of the question. அப்ப salary முடிச்சாச்சு, shares in SPL முடிச்சாச்சு. Albert also hold 2,000 equity shares of York Incorporation, another American company. அப்ப share Indian இல்ல. நீ last lecture பார்த்திருந்தேனா சார், when a foreign company will derive its value, நான் explain பண்ணிருப்பேன். அது பார்க்காம இந்த பார்ட் உன்னால புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியாது. the same part they have repeated once again, which he has acquired for dollar equivalent to 140 per share. இது எந்த கம்பெனியோட ஷேர்? ஃபாரின் கம்பெனியோட ஷேர். York Incorporation follow April to March as its financial year. He sold all the shares for dollar equivalent to 615 per share to Michelle, another non-resident, on 10/10/2023. The relevant information of York information as on 31/3, total value of asset 15 crore. அந்த கம்பெனிக்கு மொத்தமா 15 crore asset இருக்கு. அதுல immovable property world wide 12 crore. அப்ப movable property இருக்கு, immovable property இருக்கு. immovable property டோட்டலா 12 crores இருக்கு. அப்படினா remaining 3 crores other than immovable property movable property இருக்கணும். movable property அப்ப 3 crores, immovable property 12 crores. total value of immovable property world wide is 12 crore. immovable property held in India included in 2 above is only 8 crore. That means we are having explanation. I already explained this explanation multiple times. Last class I have highlighted this. One question was from that explanation. Explanation 4, explanation 5 and explanation 6. Explanation 6 is saying that, sir, the share of interest in a company or entity registered or incorporated outside India shall be deemed to derive its value substantially from asset, whether tangible or intangible, located in India. If on the specified date the value of Indian asset exceeds the amount of 10 crore, that means Indian asset is less than 10 crore, only எத்தனை crore தான் இருக்கு? 8 crore தான் இருக்கு. Because for immobile property held in India, only 8 crores are there. So the company has not derived value from India. That means income has not accrued or risen in India. That means the non-resident is not liable to pay tax in India. That's what NSR the answer. Transfer of 2000 equity share not taxable in India, since shares of foreign company do not derive its value substantially from asset located in India, as value of asset does not exceed 10 crore. That means nothing will be taxable in India. Fantastic to the core. Salary taxable, Indian company share taxable after applying proviso number 1, foreign company share by applying explanation number 6 to section 9 subsection 1 clause 1, it is not taxable. Dividend from York Incorporation, the same company York, received in India, that's a game over. Received in India. காசு மேல காசு வந்து கொட்டிக்கிற நேரம் இது எங்க இந்தியால யாரா வேணா இருக்கட்டும் டாக்ஸ் கட்டி தான் ஆகணும் இந்தியால. on 28/6/2023 was 1,32,000. இது யார் கொடுத்திருக்கா? அதனால அவன் டிடிஎஸ் எல்லாம் பிடிச்சிருக்க மாட்டான், அதனால கிராஸ் அப் எல்லாம் பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. அப்படியே 1,32,000 சார் நீ டாக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், நோ டிடிஎஸ். இதே இந்தியன் கம்பெனி கொடுத்திருந்தா 194ல 10% டிடிஎஸ் பிடிச்சிருப்பான். சூப்பர். So dividend received in India from York Incorporation taxable in India, since dividend is received in India, if you add everything you will get the gross total income. அப்படியே round off போட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்க வேண்டியதா. Sir, your 6 mark will be confirmed in your pocket. So salary taxable, Indian share taxable by after applying proviso number 1, foreign company share not taxable because income has not been accrued or risen in India, and dividend income is taxable because it falls in the scope of total income as per section 5. This is the general basic question. I believe that you are feeling these discussions as useful. If you are feeling these discussions as useful, my dear lovable students, everything has been discussed in the class. Revise very properly. In the last minute of your examination, you will be having doubt that whether this has to be studied, that has to be studied. Direct tax means like that only. That's what direct tax is all about. Doubt will come directly. You want to pass this time? Focus on the subject, what is relevant for examination. Sir, non-resident 30 mark. I am saying again, double taxation avoidance agreement 6 mark, TP 6 mark, 3 chapter BEPS, model tax convention, and the one more, sir, interpretation of tax treaty 6 mark, 18 mark, plus sir, non-resident taxation 6 mark, 24 mark. Then equalization levy and others, sir, they are asking in MCQ part 6 mark, 30 marks is the non-resident part. 20 mark they will be asking from, sir, assessment of various entity, very important, another chapter man, 20 mark. So 30 plus 20, 50 mark, various entity, which is nothing but PGBP, capital gain, IFOS. Because 14 mark from PGBP first question, and enna padakam adu, now they started asking again an 8 mark question from the partnership. So nearly 22 mark they are covering there. Then TDS, TCS, advanced tax area also they are testing. So if you are properly revising what is required and needed for examination, and if you revise the same thing again and again and again, this time it is very much possible in the Meda. If you need any question to be solved from my side, any revision area to be done, if you are commenting, I will be NSR moving accordingly. I believe that these discussions is helping you all, wishing you all the very best. We'll meet at the appropriate time. Till that